Right, so next morning I'm just packing up. I think the last few videos I just sort of packed up without filming it. I've got a short walk off today, so I don't know, might make it a little bit longer. Might go up and down into Force Crag Mine. Went there a while ago, did a video. So I think I might drop down there. It's not far really. There's a little track that takes you around the side of Outerside. That's sort of down Barrow. I wonder if I can drop off the front there. Maybe. Have a look on the map and see what I can do. Right, it's actually a little bit cold, so I'm glad I've got this tent to take down because it doesn't take long at all, and I keep saying that every time. First time I've done it in wind though, but I just want to see what it's like when I drop it. Now the guy pegs first. See, look, it still kind of stands in the wind if you just take them out. I suppose the next thing to do is get the pole down before it gets too blustery. A little bit harder in the wet, I won't say extremely. Take the pole down and keep all 4 pegs in. It's amazing what just a bit of wind does, eh? I keep saying it, but just a little bit of cold makes a huge difference. And that's the pegs in. There's the peg I lost yesterday. If I take these 2 downwind pegs down, fold this up, just means you can, them 2 pegs in, you can actually stand up and roll it. In the wind's probably not a good idea. Till you get past, pull these pegs out on the side. Let's see if we can get this in when it's wet. Not too bad. This sill nylon, it's can get kind of sticky. Right, there's the tent. Oh. So the only gripes about this is them poles that, you know, you've got to keep it full length, shove it down the side. Sort of mini poles, I mean, in the side of the let's go for external poles today. And we'll shove the pegs down there as well. Just gives a little bit more room inside. Because I've got the drone. Got a use for this avocado pocket. Cake pocket. There we go. The unhealthy version. There we go. Where's the camera? That's where I camped. Kind of wish I was on a bit of an angle and I kept on sliding that way, but it wasn't too bad. Would have been better if I was here. Right, I'm going to go off down here, up over the top of Barrow, down the side. So I'm parked near Coaldale Inn, so it's the kind of top side of Barrow. Now I do know there's a path off to the side here which will take us down and across that river, so we'll do that. So we'll get a loop in, another one in the bag. Hopefully we don't have to take anyone else's rubbish off the fell. So I'm going to drop down here into Barrow. There's the top just up there. I was looking like over here, pretty much where them sheep are now. If I'd camped there last night I would have been really out of the wind. Yeah, it was a good test for the tent and it survived. Right, that's us into Barrow. What have I got? Choices: going over Barrow, fell. I could drop down there for a short one. I could drop down into towards Rolling End, Stonycroft Gill, and then I've got kind of a road walk back. Yeah, I think I'll go over Barrow Fell. When I was filming this 2 weeks ago, I'd been over there. That was when the swarm of flies came along. I'm just going to go up a slightly different route, just taking a little path over to the right here. Not entirely sure where it goes. It goes nowhere. Go up this section here. Bag's feeling heavy. think it's probably just me. Probably haven't got it set up right. Right, I can't yet see where we camped on Stile End. This one behind it here is outer side, so that's a Wainwright. So Stile End is kind of stuck on the end. Right, so you can see the top of Stile End. I camped pretty much there. Now we've got a little walk up to the top of Barrow, and it's not as well known, mainly because it's not a Wainwright, so people don't bother, or some people don't bother going up there. Look at the colours already. We're not even out of all summer, and the colours are starting to change. I suppose with it being a bit more overcast, we've got different sort of shades on the fells. Quite visual where I was. You know, anyone coming up here would obviously see me. That's probably it really. Don't think you'd see me from any other fell. Maybe the top of Causey, but you go in some outer side you couldn't really see anyway. So yeah, I mean, you are on a plinth with this hill, this one. You're kind of stuck out and you're looking right over the valley, so it's a nice view if you can get the tent the right way around. It gets a cloud, whereas here it's pushed up and over Grassmoor and all that. But saying that, Grassmoor's looking like it's in cloud, but probably stay at that level. I think we'll be underneath it. Just come over to the edge here. Look at that sunshine. It's poking through. It's blinding off the lake there. Causey and Rolling End there. All the different types of greens. Right, last time I was here, there was that many people on the top I couldn't really film. But today, there is no one. Just shows you what a bit of weather does. Haven't seen anyone since I set off. Look at that. I've seen no one. It is a little bit earlier, but still, if this had been last week, there'd be at least 500 people up here already. Maybe not quite 500, but a few. Here, and then we went up the ridge and then onto the top. So not far. The sun going behind the clouds now. You can actually see the lake for the first time without being blinded. Swinside down there, and that's a private hill. Probably one of the very few in the Lake District. Funnily enough, you got a private hill and then a private island where someone actually lives. It's rented out, and someone actually lives on that island. Campsites down here, looking a bit more sparse than there were last week. Cat bells. So last week when I carried that rubbish off, it was from where are we at? There, over High Spy and Maiden Moor, down this bit here, up to Cat Bells, and then back down to where I was parked. So it was a good old walk. I think it was probably, that walk off was longer than this whole walk today. So I know where I go, there's sort of less people around and obviously less rubbish. I think the busiest mountain that I actually frequent's Cat Bells, whether it's to sort of get up onto the fells or just for a quick one. And yeah, so I don't really see much rubbish like up here. I've seen one tissue on two mountains and that's it. Going from Dale Head over to High Spy and Maiden Moor, I've seen quite a lot of tissues on the floor as well. It's a busier mountain, but I mean Barrow, this mountain here, is probably about as busy, or if not busier, than Dale Head, and I haven't seen anything so far anyway. But it's whether it's just because This is busy, probably less busy with tourists and more hill walkers, who are also tourists as well, but you know, people that are a bit more savvy about keeping the mountains clean rather than leaving tissues and rubbish and God knows what was in that bag. I actually managed to fit it in my bin, and my bin actually stunk. There were some cigarettes and stuff, but there was other stuff in there that was really smelling. Yeah, so these fells here, respected differently, I suppose. Maybe it's not as busy, but I think it's the sort of people that come up for day trips and want to do the Catbells and want to do the big mountains that everyone's named, whereas Barrow kind of sits by itself. Right, we found our first walker in the whole trip, and it's just someone walking the dogs. Yeah, so the one person I see, this is basically his back garden, and he's just taking his dogs for a walk. Yeah, so the plan is to try and get down there and yeah, have a wander across the river. Yeah, and what I'm not going to do is what I did last time and try and beat through the heather. One, it's too wet, and two, it was a bit of a mission. So I'm just going to take it easy, follow the path down. So as you can see, Barrow is a ridge walk, quite a wide one. You can see how wide this whole bit is. Yeah, it's about 6 meters wide, something like that. It's like a motorway. It's because there's not a designated path. I suppose there's one off to the left here you can go down, but yeah, everyone kind of sort of makes their own way up, which does make it easy for walking, because there's no designated path. It's you can just walk on a grassy area. It's not that worn considering how busy this mountain is as well. That's probably why no one's bothered putting a proper footpath up here. Right, so I'm going to go down into this. Right, so I'm going to go down into this col. I believe a couple of friends of mine stopped down there, and I think last time I was saying, oh, you could probably camp there, and they got 3 tents. So I'm going to go down and have a look and see how you can get 3 tents on it, because my recollection, I don't think you could, but obviously you can. I've seen a photo of 3 tents, so I'm going to see if I can find where they camp. Right, I suppose you could get 3 tents here. It's right close to the path, but yeah, you could get 3 tents on there, no worries. And we're going to go off to the left here now and follow this path down towards the barrow path. Path goes down there. I need to be over there, so it looks like there's another path just off here, so I'm going to follow this down. This is certainly a different way coming off the fells to what I'm used to. It's almost straight off the side, and it wouldn't surprise me if this becomes a river. I haven't bothered checking the map just because I know where I'm at. So when I camped up here, I took a path over to the side and it was diagonally up. This one's a bit more straight and down. Yeah, to think back to when I was in that tent, and we're on about seasons of tents. Now that tent, I would say, is a 2-season tent, and I was in on a 2-season air mat. If anyone knows our ratings, it's 1.2, and the only thing that saved me was my 4-season sleeping bag. It was snowing, wet, a bit of everything. It was just cold. I didn't even have a down jacket at that point, and I'm really surprised I got through the night. Just shows you what old stuff. I was having a chat to someone who knows quite a lot about outdoor stuff. When I bought this jacket, they said, right, make sure you proof it every other time you go out. So, you know, spray it, whatever. You don't have to wash it, but you have to sort of proof it, because the new environmentally friendly DWR, durable water resistance or water repellent, it's not D anymore. It's not durable anymore. So we've now got to reproof them a lot more often. And I did ask him why they've done that. You know, surely washing it is worse for the environment, because you're washing more chemicals down the drain. But he also said it's more about the people making it in the factories. You know, when you're using forever chemicals, if you're in factories all day, every day with this stuff, it can be very bad for you. Right, well, I've followed this down, and when I said before about it wouldn't surprise me if it becomes a river, look at that. It's a little beck. It's not quite a river. Yeah, so we need to be on the other side of that one there. Now the river at that point is quite a big gill, so we're going to go back up the way and across where I've crossed before. So basically, this jacket has to be washed every month. My other jacket, which is a little bit older, doesn't. Yeah, it's once every 6 months, and that's just really to clean it. Yeah, I don't know. Make up your own mind. Is it better that we're not killing lots of people in factories potentially, or we're washing more stuff down the drain? I don't know. And how much of it is a selling point for companies to sell new jackets rather than keep hold of your old ones? Yeah, so this is the gill down there. This is the path that we took up. If anyone's seen my other one where I got failed wild camp, that little forest there is where that old house is. You don't get a grasp of how deep this gill is from the other side, but you can see it a bit more here. Yeah, and it just drops off. When you're up there, you don't realise how far back up the valley you have to go to get across here. And yeah, we're going, I mean, that's the summit just there. So we've come back quite a way. It does cut out having to walk along a road, I suppose. This is probably a lot nicer than that. Probably. It is a lot nicer than that. God, to think last time I walked along here and then fought through all this bracken to think I was going to find a camping place up there. Now, there is places here, but again, it was so wet last time, there was there was water running off every little dip. There was water, any flat space there was standing water. Fair bit of rain last night, still fairly dry. Let's see that, yeah, so this is the path I came down, if you can call it a path. Did have to cut through all that, and then yeah, that's where I was thinking of camping. I suppose that's a good winter camp. Right, across this little thing. Pretty sure this was a lot bigger last time I was here. And then we've got to go off to the right somewhere to cross over. I don't fancy going up over that. I think I need to get over there somehow. So we'll go up high on this bit here. And there's a little grassy bit here we can cross over. There we go. Right, where's the path gone? Yeah, I do believe we can drop down here and then cross over. And the last time this bit here I couldn't cross, I had to cross over there, but here just step over. Lovely. I think I crossed over at that point last time where it was a bit deeper. Right, that's us joining the main path. And there's that little building hidden inside there. And then we're back on the main track from Barrow, just up from Coaldale Inn. Okay, so that's been a fairly short one today. I'm not sure if I can split this into two parts. I'll have to see the footage and see how much I've gabbed on. It's been another good one. Nice relaxing night actually. Switched the camera off and just sort of chilled out for a good hour or so. I'm going to have to sort of figure out ways of filming a bit more in the dark as well, because the nights are starting to draw in a bit. So, you know, I like having my tea in the dark and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this has been Lost in the Lakes, and we'll see you in the next one.